we do need some of that coffee. So, with previewing a bunch of other videos that we featured on this channel, here we go. Jerry and the Joker, Adventures and Comic Book Art by Jerry Robinson. Nice title page. Fantastic insert art. Issue 11. So here's the thing that they do here that some of you may not pick up on. And I need any comic book as an example. We'll just, let me see. Well, here. This book comes up, here's the wild thing. This book here, I don't know why. This book comes up a lot. Chrome by Hot Comics. This will be a little bit better. As you guys can see, right here. And maybe can we inch that baby up just a little? Inch it up, back it up just a little bit for me. So, the proportions of the publisher. So the publisher comes in. They're like, hey, we can do a book at this size. We think it will be great. This is our proposed page count. We're going to propose hardcover. All of these things, right? Well, sometimes the supplier and what they have access to and the timing, the scheduling of the printing can even dictate the size. So let's just say Dark Horse comes in and they're like, we need it this size. Well, if we put a regular comic book cover in the size proposed by Dark Horse, as you guys can see, it doesn't quite fit. So even if we expand out, we get cropping. So up here. So a lot of these books, the cropping never quite fits. But we're also emulating someone. And let me see if I can grab that. So there's a designer, and he's been around comics for quite some time. His name is Chip Kidd. Chip Kidd designed everything you see here. And what he did, a part of his formula, what he figured out, and I think this is a great example, this page right here. We can see we're not cropped to where we see like a panel border or the word balloon. Like we can even see here in the corner. See how like the word balloon is cut out? And what it does is it brings us closer into the artwork. I think it does it in a subconscious way. I think it's highly successful. When we're hyper zoomed in, you know, like we see like a little bit of the grain. It feels a little bit more personal where we see these lines like torn up. And we see the yellowing tape. It just gives us the idea that, you know, like the work is literally right in front of our face. Some of these editions, like this book, some of them pick up on that. Some of them don't. For me, this is what works. And in my view, this is what should be emulated. Because we even see here. See how, like, he cuts off the strip here? But we can, and it's not really aligned perfectly. It's not organized perfectly. But what it does, because it's a little bit off, it forces our eye to capture more of it. And even here, I look at the panel border just coming off of the edge of the page. You can easily shrink it down and fit that panel into this page. But Chip Kidd never does that. And when I started to think about why, well, it affected how I even look at this book. Because this book goes back and forth. This book sometimes does that forced crop to bring us closer. And look, we can see the stains on this cover here. Beautiful contents here. I love, look, it's a center justification, but we're split. So we're aligned left, and then the numbers are aligned right. Really cool stuff here. They're showcasing, essentially a vector artwork, a vector art trace of what he says is the first Joker drawing. We're not commenting on that. Inside left credit or indicia page is, it's purple. It's perfect. That's our boy. Chapter 1. How to start out selling ice cream and end up drawing Batman. Issue 13 here. Now, we can kind of see we're in more of a perfect crop. So, already from the insert art page, like it's a little bit inconsistent. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but I feel like, if this was blown out a little bit more, it would draw us in, especially with the size of this book. And AKAPADers, I love the captions and inserts here because they have they have a nice texture on them. So who designed this? Let me see. Editors, digital art technique designers, David Nestella and Patrick Satterfield. Much credit to David and Patrick. So again, we don't make that choice with the number 10 Batman cover, but I enjoy the size of this image. And I love how these are such a giant resolution. We get all the imperfections of the scan. So, and here we go. We're in full stylistic decision and shift. They're choosing to add borders around the placement for the original artwork. But the original artwork is just, guys, I'm not one of the people that believe that original artwork adds to the comic book creation process, right? We can look at this thing day and night, and who knows? Like, can we make any sense of it? I am sorry. I need to plug in my device here. Let me see if I can do that. Here we go. Sorry, my device is dying. Need the power. Right, like knowing that, like for example, like right here, it was a potential line that got whited out. Right, like that doesn't add anything to our creation process. But to me, it's fun and it's nice to look at. But that's all you're doing with it. You're just looking at it. I do like some of the numbers here, where it just looks like that got maybe torn up once or twice, and you can see like the dirt. I don't know if with the resolution, you can see like there's dirt underneath some of the glue that they use, or the paper. The paper was a little bit too thick. But so this is a little bit what I was talking about. We have two sketches here. We got one of Batman. We got one of Batman and Robin. Excuse me, and Robin. The looseness of these sketches immediately tells you that this guy can illustrate. I mean, you see the pen work where he pops in those lines, like especially here for the tricep. It's like really like here, the leg, quick buildings. Again, signs of an illustrator over here at the bottom. Yeah, I would assume he's drawing Bob Kane here, but just the gesture drawing and how exaggerated, and again, being able to make choices like hanging the tie from the desk lamp. I don't know, AKAPADers. To me, signs of an illustrator, and we're only 14 pages in. We have the Detective Comics 67 cover. But it's a lot of like super high res scans. Guys, look at all of this whiteout. I love it. Drawing comics is not easy. It's not. It's a battlefield. Like even here, like, the hand's a little bit too big. But we do see, like, so we all know what the division of labor was during the studio time. But we kind of, every artist has signatures and they have ways to expose who they are through their artwork. And we kind of want to say maybe there is a rhythm here just from what we see him be able to do from his gesture drawings. Every figure here seems to have movement and wait. I don't know. So, like, again, to piece some of these things together and to get into the mind of an artist, those are the things you have to pay attention to. You have to be aware. In my view, the best way to become aware of it is by doing it. But another, like, insert caption here with that nice texture. So similar texture. So this is what I call design work. Like, this is designed. So this is spot UV coated. The title on the cover. The cover's matte finish. It's got spot UV coating here. You guys can see the texture purposely put into Jerry and Joker here. Well, that texture is echoed in these inserts. Again, high level thinking. So some of this is like, yeah, it's a long form article. In my view, it's a very quick read, but we get a supersized version, and again, they're choosing to show you all of it. Supersized version of Jerry's, what he says, Joker. This is the original drawing of Joker. Okay. But here it is, AKAPAD. Is he lightboxing this? I don't know. Is he working off of a smaller or different sketch or even someone else's sketch? And the reason why I say that is if we look into, again, so you can see where the lines separate from the pressure. Like, it's darker here, but it's thinner here and more broken up. So we can kind of see, right? Like, this is how we put the top of the hair down. The contour of the hair. And to work like that, maybe sometimes where we're, like we're tracing. We're not picking our pen up much. So again, like, things to look for, things to consider. I'm not knocking it. I'm just discussing what the potential techniques are. Like a page one splash. Clearly, they're making a choice, right? They want to fit the page inside of the page, height and width. Famous cover here, number 69. Also, the greatest Batman issue of all time. Any book that reaches the number 69, that immediately becomes their greatest issue. Again, lots of whiteout, lots of corrections. So we can kind of go through this. And look, we even have pages here. We just say, like, look at the marbled floor. Nice texture there. Again, nice expressions. Big scenic landscape scenes here. Like, it's not landscape, but it's interior. Sorry. So I wasn't expecting, like, this much artwork in this book. And we can kind of see they're making a choice to show off all the artwork here. I know it's tougher to see because we're not all of it. It's not in frame. But they bleed out the physical page and the texture, and some of it could be additional Photoshop just so it fills up the page, which is fine. But this stuff goes full bleed, and I think that's a great choice. Again, look at all of the whiteout. I mean, again though, like, all of the artwork. So this is a little bit more of an artifact of what it was like to work during this time. But we get stuff like this. Quick ink wash. Here, like, maybe ink wash, maybe this is, I don't want to say marker, but it could be, it very well could be marker on smooth paper. See, ink and gray marker. Okay, so it says it. Statue and fountain sketch right here. Okay, so it's marker. But this, again, this shows us how accomplished of an illustrator Jerry was. So we have Infantino, we have Irving talking about him. So he did have a legit run at DC Comics. He's one of the guys that came out of the Bob Kane studio to do other work. which is a contribution because, yeah, like he originally was a journalist major. I don't want to say he found illustration, but he clearly had other interests. And look at these shots of him traveling. Like here, St. Peter's Basilica. This is Rome. Like, just detailed work. Again, I like stuff like this. I love seeing stuff that artists have like floating around when they do their quick drawings. Playbill magazine, illustrated, Ann Miller, 1980. Again, able to do pinup work. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney, Ann Miller, Sugar Baby. So again, illustrations from a movie. Groucho Marx. Here's the crazy thing. Bob Kane pitched. Bob Kane had potentially like lined up. Bob Kane's follow-up to Batman was going to be a Marx Brothers animated show. The gesture drawings are 100% there. I mean, look at this hand. Nice chunky fingers. But we see it though. Gregory Hines, Mia Farrow. The Mia Farrow, chicks are always tough to draw. AKAPAD doesn't quite look like her. So we get all of that comic book artwork, and then we get this stuff. And that's where I just said, we have to talk about just Handbook for Space Travelers, right? Like, where I'm just said, like, we have to talk about this book. This book is, and it's so affordable. Jerry has dedicated throughout his career to elevating the art form to its deserved status as fine art. He's talking about comic book artwork. And maybe, I don't know, splash page, Danger in the Air from Black Terror number 23. So maybe, I don't know. I don't think this is fine art. To me, this is commercial illustration. It will always be that for me. You can go back and forth. You can appreciate it, but guys, look at when he indicates the blacks, right? And then look at how the blacks show up when they're inked. Where clearly we have we have light on one side and shadow on the other. Great insight into the process here. Look, we have some of his, so these are what some of his pencils could have looked like before we got down to inking them. So this, I will always point to stuff like this. This is the definition of why inkers are important and what inkers do. Because to put everything down on paper takes a lot of thought, decision making, and time. And to do both is too overwhelming. So you pick one. So it's a separation of duty. Yes, I did say duty. I mean, more pages here, more whiteout. And again, too, like the faces and the expressions. Very subtle here. So we got a hanging cable. Excuse the shakiness. But again, like full strips, rough pages from Gold Fever, from Bat Masterson, number 6, 1961. I mean, he illustrated throughout his entire career, and you want to say, he did. I mean, I get it. Artists lose a step. They get a little bit slower. They start to lose their eyesight. Their hand-eye coordination gets a little bit off as time marches on. But Jerry, like one of those guys where you might have to say he got better with time, with age. I mean, again, too, like look at these dual expressions here. I mean, very thoughtful positioning of what happens inside the panel. He's not just getting the work done. because he's at such a high level that when he gets the work done, it looks like this. Original art for splash page Daredevil number 5. So Daredevil number 5 right here. Again, more. I mean, look at his Nixon. Look at his Reagan. Again, a little bit easier to draw likenesses to individuals that have features to pop. But we can see him do the cartoony work and then the realistic illustrations. I don't know what Starship Soldier is. Starship Troopers final, published book cover. Wow. So he drew the original Starship Troopers book cover. How crazy is that? Artwork here. Original animation cell from Stereotypes, an hour-long film co-art directed by Jerry Robinson. So Stereotypes. So see, we have the Russian bear and the the U.S. bald eagle. He did some pop art influence there. So there's a lot of interviews. There's a lot of conversations with him available on YouTube. Some of that will be collected for this channel because we will get into the Joker conversation. Yeah, original retail, $35. Maybe a little expensive even for when this came out. I believe it was 2011. Right, we should have done all this stuff at the 2017. I'm sorry. We should have done all of this in the beginning. I should have told you that there. I don't know, AKAPADers. Very impressed with this book. But now we have to just discuss. And we were crooked the entire time. But hey, we have to discuss the Joker now.